Hi everyone, it's time to get ready to make my October ATCs. This is what I have designed and put together for this month. It's a little bit different from what I normally do. I normally do some stamping and that sort of thing, but what I have chosen to do for October, we are doing Halloween themed. I have taken these printables that I got off Creative Fabrica, and I will put the link to these down in the description below. I love my Creative Fabrica subscription. It is a great deal and I highly recommend it, but I will put that down below. I printed these out and we're going to use that and then add a couple of different embellishments with and around the edges as well. So let's get started with this. So this month I only have to put together a total of 6 ATCs. And I already have the one that I just showed you at the beginning. So now we're going to work on the other 5. And I'm just going to start off by inking the edges of this white that I'm putting. And what I use to do this, I have a die. I cut these out. And overall, my ATCs are 3.5 by 2.5. And so this cut just a little less than that. And I printed these out at, they're about a 2 1/8 by 3 1/8. So just enough around the edges to show a little bit of the layering. That's what I'm doing. Now, in addition to the black along the edges, I also wanted to use this, a little bit of a purple to put on the edges there to bring, and we don't have to do the whole card because I'm going to be covering this. I'm placing the little cat and pumpkin image on top of this. So it's just really around the edges, and just to give it a little bit of more color, we've got the black along the edge, but then a little bit of the purple. Next, we're just going to attach the printable image to the cutout purple black, and there's just a little bit of an edge that shows, just enough to give us a little bit of color and layering, because then on top of this, or we will put this on top of the black. So let me just go through and add this to each of these. Okay, so we have these 5 cards. Now it's time to add these to the black. I think these are cute right here, but now we're going to add some little embellishments to each of these. Now the next step is, I don't know if the camera can pick this up very well, but if you can see on the little spider, it's got a little bit of a raised glossy look. I get that from Glossy Accents. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that on each of these because it's going to need to dry, and it probably won't be dry for a little bit. I like to give it at least an hour to dry. But I'm just putting a little dollop on each of these with the spider. Another thing to mention is, as you can tell, especially when I'm doing multiples for, like this is for my card club, I almost like to do these in an assembly line fashion. And so instead of doing one at a time, I like to do all of the same. I like to do the activity. So that you can really, let's see, I don't know if, again, if the camera can pick this up. It's more, it goes on a little bit of a white, milky look, but it's going to dry clear, and I really like that. I've had Glossy Accents for a long time, but I just recently brought that back out. The next step is we're going to put together the little bow, and I want to show you how I've been tying my bows lately. I just took some baker's twine here, And so what I like to do to make a really nice little bow is I make 2 loops, and then I'm just going to push one of the loops through to the other, to the hole, and then I will pull that through and then do some finagling there. But it makes a nice little ribbon, and I like the fact that the tails end up on the same side. So I'll have to do a little trimming here. I hate to think of having to waste much of the twine, but hopefully that's not too much. I might trim that one off just a tidge. And then I'm going to use a glue dot to apply that. So I will work on these bows and I will come right back. All right, I've got all the bows in place, and the next step is going to be to put the little sequins. So I've put 3 sequins on here, 2 oranges and a gold. And also I was just noticing as I was looking, I'm not going to touch it, but if you can tell how the glossy accent has appeared to dry, it's almost like a little black dot now. But I love how that gives dimension. Okay, I'm just using my Tombow multi-purpose glue, and we'll just do 3 dots and kind of do those at different spots there. And then I will take my sequins. Now here's my question for you. Do you put your sequins facing up or facing down? Mine, it sort of depends on how I'm feeling at the time. That turned out to be an orange one. And I have tweezers that I was using earlier, but the tweezers got a little sticky and it was almost more difficult to use the tweezers. So I just decided to drop them on here, and then I will use my scissors to kind of place them and then let them dry. So I'm going to set it aside to dry, and then I'm just going to work these other sequins. Okay, so I'm all finished with these for this month, and this is the final look here. I've got my cards ready to go, and I'm looking forward to Stamp Club this month.